Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the first virtual workshop that we've done for the William Malcolm and Wyken regeneration works. I hope you're all keeping well and safe. What we're going to do today is just focus on the refurbishment works that we're proposing for William Malcolm House, but just going to do a couple of bits of how this works. This is the first one that we've done, so hopefully you can all hear me. You should have the ability to do some chat facility, or there should be a chat button that you can click on to ask any questions or make any comments that you wish to make during the workshop today. Can I just ask just to make sure that everybody can hear us properly, if somebody can just, using the chat facility, just either say yes, can hear you. Just want to make sure that it's all working for everybody, so we can see that. I've got a question from Simon already, so we'll come back to some of the questions. But assuming that Simon, who can hear me, can that everyone else can as well. As I say, the chat facility is there. Please ask questions as the workshop goes through. I'm joined by Will from Bailey Garner, who's going to do the presentation to you today. But please don't wait to ask questions. Just put them all onto the chat facility. You can remain anonymous if you wish to, or put your name there. That'll be great. We'll stop at certain parts of the presentation to respond to those questions. The other thing, what I'd like to do is, just before going into the presentation itself and handing over to Will, is just give you an overview of where we are with the project. Since we made the announcement back in, or over 12 months ago now, to do the regeneration of Wyken and these blocks. We've started the rehousing process last year on Vincent Wiles House, and that's going really well. We've got 50% of the residents have moved, and we aim to actually move everybody by September or October of this year. What we'll then do is that will then go to be demolished, and we hope to have that done by probably March of 2022, which sounds a long way away, but isn't that far away. So once we've done the demolition is when we can then start the physical works, and will go through some of the timescales associated with that. We are going out next week for our preferred contract, so we'll be issuing tender documents out next week to invite contractors to tender for the works. The works aren't just the refurbishment of William Malcolm; they are for the new build that will be happening on the site. And just to give some reassurance, we haven't done any designs at the moment or made any decisions regarding the new build. That will be determined when we got our contractor on board next year, and we've done full consultation with you as residents as well. I'm just going to pick up one question that Simon has asked, which is regarding the asbestos risk when knocking down Vincent Wiles. All of it will be done in a safe manner. We carry out full asbestos surveys on the properties. We'll bring a specialist contractor in who will remove all the asbestos before the block is demolished. There will be no risk to residents in the community there. Taking that on board, what I'm going to now do is hand over to Will, who's going to do a presentation on the proposals for William Malcolm House. What I should say, this is the first of many events that we'll be doing. It is a strange time for us all at the moment, but hopefully next year, as things start to improve, and we'll be able to carry out more consultation events actually within Wyken, and more physical events than doing them virtually at the moment. So thank you again for attending this, and I'll hand you over to Will.
Okay, thank you, Kevin. Hopefully everyone can see those presentation slides on the screen now. So as Kevin's just said, I'll be talking you through the proposals that we're looking to do for the refurbishment at William Malcolm House. So I'll just just as a bit of an agenda for today, I'll do a bit of an introduction about myself and Ballygarner, have a look at William Malcolm House and the block in its current form, and then run through the proposed works we're looking to do. There'll be time for questions at the end, but also after each element of work that we're running through, we'll pause, and if there are any specific questions to that, we can run through those and hopefully answer any queries at that point as well. Okay, so just for the introduction, we'll have just an overview of the purpose of today, introduction to who we are, look at the aims for William Malcolm House, and then just an overview of the timeline as well. So really the purpose of today is for you, the residents, to raise awareness of the works. I know that some leaflets have been sent out previously, and it's really to build on that, give you an update on the proposals, and then really gives you an opportunity to input on some of the design ideas. This is the first session that we've presented anything to any residents, so it's at the stage now that it's feedback and comments are welcomed, and it's an opportunity as well for any residents to ask questions as well. So Ballygarner, who we are, so we are a construction consultancy based in Birmingham. We also have a presence in London as well, but we're working with Citizen on the scheme since about January, and we are appointed as the lead consultant, but we have architects, surveyors, M&E designers, and we're helping Citizen through the design process and through the project delivery as well. So the aims for William Malcolm House, so these are built off sort of surveys that were carried out to you residents, and some aims that Citizen have for the block as well. So there's a big focus on making the building perform thermally much better, so making it warmer, reducing energy bills, that goes hand in hand with making the building warmer, improving the building condition, the visual appearance. I know there's lots of issues with pigeon roosting on the block as well, so hopefully looking at addressing that, improving the building security, and that in turn will hopefully reduce crime and antisocial behaviour in the area. Looking at reducing waste management issues. I know there's a bin chute in the block where there's lots of reports of issues with that, and then also being a high-rise block, we're always looking to improve the fire safety in the building. So just a bit of an overview of the timeline. So through 2020, we've been working with Citizen, carrying out investigations on the block, going into the communal areas, but into void flats as well, to really understand the building. And this has helped us form the proposals that we're going to put forward today. We then, as Kevin's touched on already, looking to get the tender information sent to main contractors this side of Christmas, and that will then hopefully look to we'll be in a position hopefully to appoint main contractor by sort of spring next year. That will then lead into the detailed design being finalised and commencing work on site in 2022, and this is for the refurbishment element of William Malcolm House, and all works then looking to be complete on the refurbishment by 2023. Okay. So just a bit of a review of the block, and this links nicely into what we've already run through about the aims for the block. So a lot of these aims have come out of some issues that have been reported through the surveys, but through things that we've identified and Citizen have identified on the block as well. So there's lots of reports of the flats being cold. It's due to poor insulation of the building. There's in the communal corridors on each floor, there's fixed open louvered smoke vents, which basically means the corridor are very, very cold all year round. Pigeon roosting we've already touched on, but antisocial behaviour, fly tipping, poor light into the area, and that can encourage antisocial behaviour, and it can make the area feel unsafe. Bin storage, there's often links to fly tipping, but waste left lying around. Blockages to bin chutes obviously contributes to that, and then graffiti problems as well. I'm sure there are other issues that people do come about on a day-to-day basis, and hopefully we'll look to address those as part of the project. Okay, so now just moving on into the proposed works, and like I said previously, we'll run through these sort of element by element, so section by section. So we are looking at carrying out works to the roof area. We're carrying out works to the external elevations, to the balconies, to the main entrance, which currently sort of accesses the building on the first floor. We are doing some work internally as well, although the majority of that sits in the communal areas. There will be others that will impact on flats directly, and then what we've called other works, which kind of spans internally to the building but externally as well, so we can run through all those. So just starting at the top of the building on roof works. So the aim of carrying out works to the roof is to prevent any leaks, improve the roof condition, and to make the building warmer. And so the work we're looking to do to the roof area is recover the flat roof. So it's installing some sort of felt system and upgrading the insulation at the same time. Improving the edge protection. So currently it's got quite a low parapet. We're hopefully going to build that up. So when people are going onto the roof to service the equipment that's there, it is a very safe place to do so. And we've also looking to replace the rainwater downpipes, so that links into preventing leaks. Those extend down through the flats and balconies as well, so we're looking to replace those. And then we're aware that quite a lot of the equipment, not all of it, there's still a lot of it is live up there, but there's a lot that is redundant, and hopefully we can look to remove that as well. So that's a bit of a summary about the roofing works. Are there any questions coming on that at all? Oh, sorry, Kevin, I think you're just on mute at the moment.
Okay, sorry about that.
That's right.
Wonders of technology. So yes, we've had a few questions, some not directly linked to the roof, but more general. I'll go in order. So first one has come through. Will William Malcolm be refurbished before any new buildings replace Vincent Wales? At the moment, our programme is yes. We're looking to do the refurbishment of William Malcolm, as we'll refer to in 2022, once we've demolished Vincent Wales. That will be followed the following year in 2023 with starting on the new build. My only caveat to that is that we will have that discussion with our contractor once they're on board, but our aim is to do William Malcolm during 2022, start the works. And I think we're looking at whether that's going to be probably about an 12 to 18 month programme of works. That be reasonable, Will?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Second question: will the car park be refurbished and lined? The works to the car park will be there will be probably a new car park. We haven't got to the detail in respect of where that will be at the moment. You may see some visuals later that propose an area, but part of the new build works will also be on an element of the new car park as well. So all of it will be refurbished and reserviced as a part of the whole project. We just haven't got the detail of those areas that will remain as a car park and which areas will be built out on. Security cameras, can security cameras be added to the lower car park and the car park be reserviced? You'll see later in the proposals, and we'll pick up that we are upgrading the CCTV, and we will be aiming to ensure that we've got full coverage on the car park, certainly on the lower car park as well. So yes, is the answer to that one. Another one: will the insulation be cladding and is it safe? Will's going to take you through the what the proposals are for the external wall insulation. So Will, if you can just pick that up in your presentation and the response to that, but assure you it is going to be safe.
Yeah, that's fine.
Will they be removing the louvers by the bin chute rooms? We've got to, again, part of the works that we'll be doing is to address those louver areas. And Will, I'll ask you again if you can pick that up. I don't want to take too much of his thunder.
That's fine.
Sorry, I think people have said that they can't see me. That's probably, can you see me now? I think I've got to reverse the camera around. Next question, what colour is the block going to be? Will's going to pick that up later as part of the presentation, so you will be picking that up. And take your points regarding the blue and purple along Stony Stanton Road. And you know, one of the things that you'll see from our presentation is that if you go up and down the motorway and you look at some of the high-rise blocks that have been refurbished by registered providers or city council, they all look quite outdated now. So we are looking to make this a much modernised block than what you may see in other areas. What will happen to the balconies? Are they just going to be glazed? Will's going to pick that up with you again in the presentation. And finally, the question, just a comment, I think, which is more that the current CCTV only covers the upper car parks at Vincent Wiles. As I said, we will be looking to upgrade that, upgrade to CCTV and ensure that there is coverage for all of the area. I think that's all the questions that have come through now, but please carry on putting your comments and questions. And I'd also just add that we are recorded. This is obviously being recorded. We will be putting this on our website later. I'm sure there's going to be questions that you have after this session is finished. And through our website, you can there will be forms on there that you can complete to ask questions, to make contact with us so we can respond and keep that regularly updated for everybody. So Will, I'll hand back to you.
Okay, thanks, Kevin. Hopefully everyone can see the presentation screen again. So this feeds in nicely to some of the questions that were just being asked. So I'll now touch on the external elevation works. And again, here I've got some aims that we're looking to achieve by carrying out works to the external elevations. So it's again to make the building warmer and in turn reduce the energy bills, improve the visual appearance of the building, and again improve the external wall condition. So what we're looking to do to the block is to install what's called external wall insulation, and this insulation will be made of what's called a rock wall, and so that is as the name dictates, it's made from stone or rock, and it is not flammable at all, and it's a real driver for the refurbishment project that this is done in an absolute 100% safe manner. And that's the decision behind picking this type of installation. That will then be finished with a render, and again we can look at some visuals we put together in terms of what that might look like. And we're then looking to replace the windows to the block and address the open louvers on each floor. And with the open louvers, they are in place as a smoke ventilation system. And while we can't do away with that altogether due to the safety, we can look to install what's called automatic opening vents, so they don't remain open all the time, and only in the event of emergency would they open. So that in turn will help make the building much warmer. Okay, so what could this look like? What we have done is pulled together some visuals of the block. Now the approach we're kind of going for here is to make it as timeless as possible. So like Kevin's touched on, we don't want it to date in 5-10 years time. So we're looking at fairly neutral colour palettes, and the colours put forward here are just initial ideas, and we welcome some comments on them as and when you feel necessary, good or bad, that's fine. So as you can see on this slide, it's a dark and a lighter grey render. It's the majority of the block. We will then look to install some brickwork down at the ground floor level, just as it's more robust in the render, and that will hopefully last much longer than if you had the render all the way down. Again, we're then looking, all these windows on the elevations will all be replaced, and there's additional glazing to the balconies, which I'll touch on after these slides. Okay, I'll just flick through some other angles. You'll notice on this elevation, the entrance no longer is on the first floor, and I can touch on that in a little bit more detail in the next slides and how that might look. Yeah, and that's another the other side of it, another angle. Okay. We've then got a same sort of material, same sort of finish, just with a different colour. And this is more of a grey blue finish instead of the dark grey. And you can see from this angle much clearer where the brickwork would run at the ground floor level. And again, there, just another angle with the blue finish. Okay, are there any questions coming on those at all, Kevin?
Okay, I'll pick those up. Some of them came through just as we started on that, so hopefully I'll pick everything, go back. Okay, so the next one was a question regarding the balconies and are they going to be glazed. Will's going to pick that up later in the presentation. He's just sort of advised that we will be looking to glaze those balcony areas. What will we be doing about the will you be doing about recycling options? Will there be 2 rubbish bin chutes? I think you're all aware that we are now in the process of in the new year we'll be starting the replacement of the existing bin chute. We have taken a decision to make that bin chute recyclable. So I don't know the full technical details, but my understanding is that it will be as it is at the moment for you as a resident. But when you go to empty your rubbish, recyclable waste into the bin chute, there will be 2 options. If you wish to recycle, you'll press a button. There'll be a lever at the bottom that's when you put your waste down the chute, it will then divert into a recyclable bin. If it's general waste, you click the general waste button and it will recycle or it will move into the general waste bin. So hopefully that's positive, and it's good to hear that you're keen to try and get recyclable options within the block, which we've done. Do we have to move out while work is being done on windows and the balconies, and will the decoration be repaired? You don't need to move out while that work is being done. We've replaced windows with residents in situ through all of our window programs, and yes, the decorations, there should be minimal impact on any of the decorations. Will the air vents behind the kitchen cupboards be blocked up because it's makes your kitchen is freezing in the winter? A bit of detail there that maybe Will can answer when he's talking about the balcony works. But if that's one of the issues that we haven't identified, then clearly we can pick that up and see what solution we can come up with. Are sprinklers going to be added in case of fire? You'll see from the presentation later about the works to make the building safer. And yes, our proposals are to fit sprinklers within the block. Thank you, Simon. Your comments on the elevations state they look good, so thank you for that. And also, anonymous, black and grey is nice, like the block at Barrowseek, yeah, Alpha House, I think that block is. So hopefully, we're, as Will said, we are trying to get that contemporary and new modern look to the buildings than having them all different colours. So thank you very much for your comments, and please continue to do so. So that's all the questions at the moment, Will.
Thanks, Kevin. Okay. hopefully everyone can see that screen again. So I'm going to move on to the works to the balcony. Linking back into some of the aims that we had for the whole of the block, an issue with pigeon roosting on the balconies is evident, and this will link into what we want to do in terms of making the building warmer as well, improving the condition of the balconies, and then trying to make them more usable. All of the aims that we're trying to achieve here. So what we're proposing to do is install open wall glazing to the balcony areas, and the idea being this will help make them usable in the winter months, where they can almost, the idea really is to get a garden room kind of feel, an inside outside space, so the glazing can be opened quite a bit, so it can still feel like a balcony, but in the winter you could still use it as a space. We'll look to replace the balcony doors, and then look at redecorating the balcony area, new floor finishes, plastering the walls, painting them, and providing clothes washing facilities as well. Okay, so I've just got some visuals of what that could look like. So as you can see, so these are all quite similar, but there are sort of differences, so I'll just talk you through them. So you can see here we've got some tiled floor. Obviously the balcony's been enclosed with glazing. We've got the downpipe open, which runs down from the roof, and we've got 2 racks wall mounted for drying clothes. The next option is, again, very similar. In this one, we've got the downpipe has been boxed in, so you actually can't see it. We would need to provide some sort of access hatch in there for maintenance. We've got some sort of fixed seating area, which could be used as storage as well. And then in this option, we've shown a retractable line for hanging washing up that runs the length of the balcony. Okay. And the third option then looks at tiling more of the floor and the wall area, and then leaves seating fairly open for choice by residents. This option doesn't have any provision for clothes drying, but there's no reason why the 2 options previously couldn't be incorporated into something like this. So they are relatively similar. I think this one as well, we've got what we call solar shading on the glazing, so that will hopefully reduce any solar gain and that space is heating up too much as well. Okay. Is there any questions coming on the balconies at all?
Okay. Again, I'll pick up the questions as they have got in order. There's a comment regarding the not the blue, likes the I think the grey. Okay. Are we having tiled cladding, or is the block just being painted? The block needs to look stylish and sophisticated, not like a child's painting. Will, can you just sort of advise of how the render is on the system?
Yeah, so it's not a tiled system. It's what we call a cement render. So it's built up. It have the insulation underneath, and then on top of that you have essentially a cement render that runs the full width of the block. So it will look like it's all one piece. Essentially, it won't be broken up into tiles or cladding pieces or anything like that. Okay. Thank you.
Will the glass be tinted and self-cleaning, because current windows are filthy and difficult to clean? And I think you've just referred to or made reference to the solar tinting on the windows. I'm not sure whether that applies to all of the windows throughout the block, but it is certainly something we can take away and have a look at.
Yeah, I think just on that, Kevin, particularly anything that picks up direct sunlight, we'd be looking at the specification of the glazing to make sure it reduces any solar gain if we are getting issues with overheating. The north facing elevation, you get less of an issue typically because it doesn't get the direct sunlight. But yeah, definitely, if that's an issue, we'll be looking to address that.
Okay, thank you. Next one, is the downpipe being removed, and what happens to the drain hole on the balcony? Will?
So the current intention is to keep So to replace the drain pipe but keep it in its current location. So it will run down its current position. There is an option that we could look at bringing them to the outside of the building, but then what you'll end up having is 8 down pipes that run on the outside. It won't look that great, and there's lots of issues around how that's then fixed into the new external wall, and in terms of maintenance and future issues, it's a much riskier approach. So we are looking to keep them in their current location, albeit they will be upgraded.
Yeah, and I think, Will, what you're showing on the balconies is that they will be boxed in. I mean, we showed one of the options with on remaining visual, but we will be looking to box them in. So hopefully that. Simon, how do the windows get cleaned? And I assume you're talking about general windows there. That's something we haven't discussed. We don't have a window cleaning operation on the high-rise blocks at the moment. If that was a service that we were looking to include, then that would be a charge to the residents, but that is something we can talk to you as residents about going forward. Thank you. Someone said they like the second option for the balcony. The fixed seat is a nice feature. And will the block finish be similar to what is here now? I think Will's just explained what the render system is. Once we are, when we've got our contractor on board and we're having more, hopefully, physical consultation events with you next year, we will have some of these panels, sample panels that we can show you, and you can see exactly how they are. But what you will see in some of the improvements and external wall insulation that we've done around the city, and not far from you, if you have a look at the Manor Farm estate, for those who do know it, if you wanted to drive around there or visit that estate, we did a major external wall insulation refurbishment to that block. That will give you a good idea about how the render looks, even though that is, that's a white colour with a sort of black finished brick finishing. So please go to that estate. You'll see the improvements that we've done there. They are really, really good. And what happens when the balcony floods if the floors are tiled? I mean, Will, do you want to answer that one?
Yeah, so I assume from that there's obviously currently an issue. Well, there's a drainage system because they're exposed, so when water comes in, it can drain out. I think if the intention is to have them, the glazing that can open fully, something similar to that would need to be retained, because if you left it as an outside space, you would still need to have some sort of drainage facility. Yeah,
but it will be designed so it's not flooding, as Will said. It'll all be glazed, and I'm not sure where the existing flooding is happening from, as Will said as well. So, but with the replacement of all the downpipes, we'll be ensuring that the design makes sure it doesn't flood. And finally, just a comment that likes the boxed-in idea, which we're keen on as well.
Yeah.
So that's all the questions to date. You want to carry on, Will?
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so moving on, still looking at elevations, but bringing us down now to ground floor level. As everyone will be aware, the building, the main entrance to the building is accessed via a concrete ramp, which then feeds to the first floor of the block. It is our attention, or the aim of it links back to the aims of the main block as well, so reducing crime, antisocial behaviour, improving the visual appearance. So what we want to do is to remove the proposed entrance ramp and relocate the main entrance to the ground floor, and that would then mean reconfiguring the ground floor area, which currently serves I think it's sort of external stores. The bin store is served under there, and there's lots of plant equipment as well. So the intention really is to bring that down to the ground floor and get rid of that concrete ramp altogether. So what could that look like? And again, we've got some images. So that's looking at where the new main entrance could be on the ground floor. So it's completely gone, and we have some heavy duty security doors for the front entrance. That's another view of it. So we did look at some options, but I think this was the one that we agreed sort of between us at Citizen and BG that was the most appropriate, and hopefully improves the aesthetic of the building. That's what it could look like from the inside. So we are keen to introduce an airlock into the new entrance, again to look at improving the security of the block. Any questions coming on that entrance?
Yes, a couple of questions, not directly with the ramp, but will trees and hedges be removed because of damages to cars? We will be looking at the landscaping in line with the new build design issues, so clearly we'll be looking to resolve those issues if they are. Comments really next is good riddance to the ramp, and that likes the new entrance. So good, thank you very much for that. That's it, Will.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. Okay, so moving on internally to the building. Again, when we're talking internally, this is majority internal works to communal areas. So again, it's looking at improving the condition and the visual appearance. So this will include replacing the communal doors, replacing flat entrance doors as well. So that will obviously have some impact on the flats that you're living in. Replace the communal floor coverings, and then looking to redecorate all the communal areas. And then the communal areas, what we're referring to, just to confirm, will be the corridors, staircases, those areas that residents have regular access to. Okay. We haven't got any visuals of that at this stage, but are there any questions at all on internal areas?
No questions, just a question regarding the communal areas, but a question about whether there will be a concierge service for extra security. No, we're not proposing to bring a concierge service in. We haven't had within Citizen or previously Whitefriars a concierge service now for 5 years plus. Our security will be maintained by Pioneer House, which is where we currently monitor and manage all of our security and cameras from. And if there is an incident, then we do have staff that are then deployed. Will show you in a moment. We are looking to upgrade that. One of the things that you don't have at the moment is that two-way communication with our security room. We will be putting that in place as a part of these works. Will?
Okay. Okay, and then just looking at other works that are going to happen to the block as part of the projects. And a lot of these are around improving building security, reducing the antisocial behaviour and crime, the issues of the bin chute, which we've already touched on, and then improving the building fire safety. So we will be looking to upgrade the current CCTV, and that's for the surrounding external areas, but also internally to the block. Upgrading the call systems, so that's with the link into the new entrance that we're proposing, having communication from flats down to the entrance and back up. Upgrading the external lighting, so hopefully improve security again to the vicinity of the block. Upgrading the bin chute, which Kevin's already covered in response to one of the questions, and then installing a sprinkler system to the entire block as well, and that will run into communal areas and flats. Okay. And any questions or clarifications at all, Kevin, on anything?
A couple of questions and comments. What will be done to prevent people from smashing the doors? it's a difficult one to how we prevent people from doing it if someone is inclined to do so. Unfortunately, it's not. Clearly with the security that we'll be putting in, they will be, the security doors, they will be secure. So we would hope to pick anyone doing that up on our CCTV and would be taking action against them if they are a resident, a tenant of the block, or a tenant elsewhere within our stock. The another comment regarding means less drafts into the flat, which is positive. What happens to any damage that's caused to residence decor when windows and doors are being fitted? I mean, that's going to be on an individual basis. The contractors that will be appointed will be very experienced in carrying out these type of works. And similarly, when we've replaced windows and doors in properties before, then minimal damage is normally carried out to the to your home. So I would expect hardly any damage done to decor, but clearly if there is done, then we can deal with that on an individual basis. Will the TV area be fixed or upgraded? It's currently not working. That's one area that we haven't discussed, have we, Will, in terms of the TV aerial system?
No, we haven't discussed that. No.
So we'll need to take that comment back to have a look at the necessity to do so. With it not currently working, I will pick that up and raise that internally now as to the reason why it's not working and get it fixed. Can the old housing office downstairs be used as a security police office? Well, the old housing office itself is actually is our office, is the regeneration team's office, so it's my office where I'm going to be based. But because of the pandemic, we did move in, and then we're occasionally using the building. But hopefully, when restrictions lift and next year, we'll be fully operating from that office. In terms of future after that, so I expect us to be there for 4 or 5 years. There is no views or decisions as to what that can be at the moment. Generally, however, we have used previous offices for police, but due to their own restricted resources, they just can't man those type of buildings now. So I'm going to say no, that won't be an option going forward. Front door is currently supposed to have CCTV. Well, this is about our proposals moving forward, so that will have CCTV on those blocks. Will the lifts be replaced as they break down almost every day? Within our scope of works, we haven't got to replace the lifts down, have we, at the moment?
No, we haven't got any replacement lifts, no.
Okay. That's something I'll take back internally and talk to my colleagues who are responsible for the lifts. But we haven't within our scope of works at the moment got down to replace the lifts, but we will have a look at that. And Colin, we know where to find you then. Yeah, you certainly do. Okay, that's all the comments, questions so far, Will.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, if that's the end of the slides, Kevin.
Okay.
I don't know if anyone wants to go over anything again, or shows up.
Can we have your phone number for when you will be downstairs? Yes, I mean what you do have is you have the contact centre, that phone number that if you do want to talk to me or any of my team, they will put you through to us. You will also have the access to the website where if you want to make any inquiries, ask any questions, comments on the regeneration itself, then you can make those through to that. So we will be accessible. The office itself won't be an open office, but if you do wish to meet with us, then we can make appointments for you to come down and see us. And a comment, these are the new lifts. Not sure what that means or what the comment is referring to. How much will this put onto our rent? It won't put anything onto your rent. So these works are all being done. This is what your rent was paid for. Okay. Can residents vote on the final colour scheme for outside? What we'll be doing is we'll be carrying out a full consultation once we get our contractor on board, and we'll be presenting those colours and the final designs for everybody to have their comments and voting. So I see no reason why you'll certainly have that input into choosing the colour scheme for the outside. Comments are still coming through. Simon says, great. I hope it's been of use to you today. I've been really conscious that since we made the announcement, we haven't been giving you any information. We've been focusing on working with the residents within rehousing residents from Vincent Wiles House. But we have been doing a lot of work behind the scenes with getting these proposals drafted. As I say, we'll be going out for our contractor this side of Christmas, and hopefully we'll be seeing you next year to carry out physical consultation instead of these virtual ones, because you really want to see and touch and feel some of these designs and what we're proposing. So I want to thank everybody for attending today and your input. It's very useful. What we'll be doing, I think I mentioned earlier, we will be putting this onto the actual presentation onto our website, so you can watch it again if you wish. But if you do have any other comments, questions you want to ask, please go onto our website to the Wyken web page, and you can make your comments and we'll respond then individually to you all and keep it updated with any news that is happening and progress. So I want to thank you all. Bye.